There's an idea I've been thinking about lately. What if life isn't about chasing more, but about repaying something invisible? Not money, not status, not expectations, but 4 quiet debts we owe, not to society, but to our own conscience. Nobody talks about these debts. They don't show up on credit reports. They don't collect interest. But if we ignore them long enough, they cost us something deeper: clarity, peace, integrity. I used to think success meant building something. Now I wonder if it's about honoring something. Let me walk you through the 4 debts I've come to recognize. The debt to your calling. There's a quiet discomfort that shows up when you know you're capable of more, but you stay comfortable instead. I felt that in my late 20s. Good job, stable income, predictable days, but every Sunday night felt heavy. Not because I hated my work, because I knew I wasn't doing what I was meant to do. I remember reading about Howard Schultz, the former CEO of Starbucks. Before he built what we now know, he was working at a small housewares company. He was comfortable, safe. But after a trip to Italy, he couldn't unsee what he saw: the community culture of coffee. He quit security to build something uncertain, not because he had to, because he felt he owed it to himself to try. That's the first debt, the debt to your calling. Not everyone is meant to build companies, but everyone has something they know they should attempt. A book unwritten, a move unmade, a conversation avoided, a skill ignored. And when we postpone it long enough, we start shrinking. The debt grows quietly, not financially, but emotionally. The cost: regret. Lesson: you don't owe the world greatness, but you owe yourself honesty about what you're capable of. What have you been postponing for years? If fear wasn't involved, what would you attempt? The debt to your relationships. This one is harder because it doesn't shout, it fades. A few years ago, I read about a nurse named Bronnie Ware who worked in palliative care. She documented common regrets of the dying, one of the most frequent: I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. Not money, not promotions, connection. We assume relationships maintain themselves. They don't. They decay in silence. I once reconnected with an old friend after 8 years. We both admitted we thought the other was busy. The truth: we both just didn't make the effort. And time did what time always does. It moved. The second debt is relational, not about being social, about being intentional. Calling your parents before it's convenient, saying sorry before it feels comfortable, showing up without waiting for a reason. Lesson: you don't owe everyone your energy, but you owe the right people your presence. Who would you regret not reaching out to? Who deserves your gratitude but hasn't heard it? The debt to your integrity. This one is subtle because compromise rarely feels dramatic. It feels practical: a small lie, a quiet exaggeration, a shortcut. I once heard a story about Warren Buffett giving advice to students. He asked them, if I let you invest in one person for the rest of your life, and you'd earn 10% of everything they make, who would you choose? Everyone picked the most disciplined, trustworthy person they knew. Then he said, now imagine you're stuck investing in yourself. That question stayed with me. Integrity is the compound interest of character. You don't feel its impact daily, but over 10 years, it determines everything. The third debt is internal. It's the promise you made to yourself when no one was watching, and whether you kept it. Lesson: you don't owe people perfection, but you owe yourself alignment. Where are you slightly out of alignment? What promise to yourself have you delayed keeping? The debt to the world that raised you. This one isn't about guilt, it's about contribution. You didn't build the roads you drive on. You didn't invent the internet you use. You didn't design the systems that educated you. We inherit more than we acknowledge. I think about Jonas Salk. the scientist who developed the polio vaccine. When asked who owned the patent, he famously replied, "Well, the people, I would say. There is no patent. Could you patent the sun?" He could have made billions. He chose contribution over control. Not everyone needs to cure diseases, but everyone can give something back. Mentorship, kindness, work done with excellence, raising children with stability. The fourth debt is contribution. Not grand, but consistent. Lesson: you don't owe the world your exhaustion, but you owe it your participation. In what small way are you giving back? Who benefits from your effort beyond you? When I look at these four debts, I don't see pressure. I see direction. The debt to your calling, so you don't live half asleep. The debt to your relationships, so you don't end up successful but alone. The debt to your integrity, so you can trust your own reflection. The debt to the world, so your life leaves more than it takes. None of these require perfection. They require awareness. Maybe life isn't about paying everything off. Maybe it's about not ignoring what we owe. And maybe peace doesn't come from achieving more, but from knowing you're honoring what matters. If this resonates with you, don't rush. Just sit with one question tonight. Which debt have you been quietly postponing? Because the interest isn't financial, it's personal, and it compounds.